I've done a decent job of living my life, as clean as I can with the Tupperwares, reusable bottles, eating less meat, organic, all that stuff, but it's just really not enough. We can't just preach to the choir or live like the choir, we gotta grow the congregation. It's gone back really since early high school. I watched An Inconvenient Truth and a couple other documentaries that really opened my eyes to the state of the planet, and so I really got invested and knew I wanted to study it in college. So I studied environmental science, public policy in college, and since then I've just tried to live my life as environmentally consciously as I could, try to reuse water bottles, reuse grocery bags, eat less meat, buy all organic food. We have solar panels on our house, we compost, so we do a bunch of stuff, but now I'm trying to get that message spread out a little bit more, and hopefully other athletes can jump on board.
I know there's some debate about how much an individual person can do to do something for sustainability versus an organization. Where do you stand on that line?
Certainly an organization can do more with just a little change, can have a big impact. That's not to say that individual actions are minimal, that individual actions add up big time. Little things can go a big way in terms of demand on the system. I think using a reusable water bottle can save hundreds of plastic water bottles which don't biodegrade for 1,000 years. So I think composting is a big way for people to translate that would-be waste that was just sitting in the landfill into really viable soil material. So instead of putting it in the garbage, maybe just take a little bag or something, put it in there until you can put it in the compost pile, and that can really change things around for the earth in terms of the system getting valuable soil rather than just methane leaking out from the landfills. And then I think the individual actions can't be too minimized, but definitely organizations can have a bigger impact.
So what are some things that baseball can do to be more sustainable?
Well, there's been a lot of good steps by the MLB Sustainability Department already. I think 20,000 tons of waste were diverted from landfills last year into recyclables and compost, which is a really good step. 18 ballparks are using LED lights, which is a big energy saver. The Nationals are actually going full compost mode with, they're using all their concession Tupperware and cups and all that are compostable, and they have a compost bin. So MLB is doing a great job, and as the Brewers, we're trying to launch this campaign, Strike Out Waste campaign, to get reusable bottles going. I had 120 guys sign up, and so we've gotten over 100 bottles out there to minor and major league guys and staff to try to eliminate some plastic and paper waste with cups.
So you said you majored in policy, public policy relating to environmental science, but is there any form of policy that you think right now is really effective or is not so effective and you think could be better?
Certainly, I think incentives or tax deductions can be altered in terms of kind of straying away from fossil fuels. I think there are some things in place right now that are helping. There are some tax credits for electric cars, for solar panels, for wind energy, but I think we could do a lot more. But I think some type of carbon tax policy is almost inevitable at this point, just to try to limit the pollution, because when there's pollution out there, we all feel it. The externality is felt by everybody, but it's not paid for by anybody. So if we could just kind of put a price on that, and then that would really get companies thinking about the renewable, cleaner ways to provide electricity rather than just the basic fossil fuels. So, and certainly you could look at public health, it's almost so related to the environment. When there's pollution and bad stuff in the water or food or whatever, and people get health problems because of it, it's totally related. We spend every second of our lives depending on natural resources to survive, and if those aren't healthy, if those aren't clean, then we're going to have some serious public health issues. So it's almost, in medicine, if you look at trying to treat the symptom rather than the root cause, it's almost the same thing. We're trying to treat the symptoms, the diseases, but we're not paying any attention to the root cause, which is in a lot of cases pollution.
Do you think that there's enough attention being paid to climate change in this way?
Compared to how daunting and crazy the problem is, I don't think there's quite enough. I think the consciousness of America is starting to develop more. I think people are really starting to look at it as a serious problem rather than just kind of something in the future.
What do you think is going to happen in the next 10 years? Do you think that people will mobilize?
Some days I do, some days I don't. It really depends. We need leaders to step up, political and economic leaders to step up big time, but we also need everybody individually to kind of have that collective consciousness and awareness of it. Not just doing the things, but spreading the message and having other people, because I've done a decent job of living my life, as clean as I can with the Tupperwares, reusable bottles, eating less meat, organic, all that stuff, but it's just really not enough. We can't just preach to the choir or live like the choir, we gotta grow the congregation. In 10 years, I hope there's some mobilization. So, but yeah, every now and then I get hopeful, and then I see certain things go on, I get a little less hopeful. But I always have hope that humans can solve the problem. We're very we have a lot of ingenuity on our side and a lot of innovation, and we're smart species, but this is a big problem. This is a Earth Day shirt or Strikeout Waste shirt. It's a really comfortable shirt, looks cool, and all the proceeds go to Milwaukee's Urban Ecology Center, which is a great program, brings urban youth closer to nature via field trips, nature hikes, canoe travels, and river cleanup. So it's a great program, great cause. Go get your t-shirt at athletes.vip.